Hello everybody, happy Saturday. I'm David-Dorian Ross. Welcome to the Cherry Blossom Studios. It's day number 13 of 100 days of Tai Chi. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. We're going to talk about the last movement rather than another new movement, and then in tomorrow's video I'm going to double up and give you two movements at once. This is a great example of another layer of Tai Chi. So we're going to do that, plus I'm going to tell you what this guy is. And all that's coming up in just a second, so stick around. Well, first things first, I know that a lot of you have gotten used to me posting these videos early in the morning. They usually come out and publish at about 6 a.m. Pacific time, so that's like 9 a.m. over on the East Coast. And today we're really late. In fact, I'm just making this video on a Saturday for publication on Saturday. And so it's really late. And the reason why is because I've been playing around with this guy here. This is a brand new camera called a Solo Shot. And it's, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to wait to tell you all about it till the end of the video. So you have to stick around and see what this is all about. So let's get to the business at hand. The movement that we learned yesterday was called Ban Lan Chui, which can be translated as deflecting downward, parrying, then punching. Or a better translation is to reposition, then to block, and then to lay the hammer down. Now, yesterday I got a comment from one of the viewers saying that the mirror imaging and the breakdown that I did was not quite as good as one of the breakdowns I've done in my other video called Mastering Tai Chi, which I did for the Great Courses. So I thought maybe I'll come back and we'll take a look at this movement again, because it is a pretty complex movement. It's got a lot of moving parts, and it never hurts to take another look at a movement. And this time I'm going to add a couple of more layers. At a certain level of your Tai Chi practice, everything becomes about timing and coordination. You've heard the old phrase, timing is everything. Well, that's true in Tai Chi as it is in comedy. So timing is everything. Let's watch this movement one more time, and then I'm going to break it down again, add another layer. And so from the end of the previous brush knee position here. Three moving parts, 3 parts to the stepping, 3 parts to the hands here. Let's take a look at the stepping one more time. So I'm going to do this coming towards you here. I start out in a bow step. This is a lunge facing you, and I'm doing mirror image, so this would be your left foot. Yes? So step with your left foot forward. You're going to empty out this left foot, meaning you'll unweight it, shifting back slightly. Then using the waist turn, right, the rotation of the torso here, I'm going to turn to my left, and those left toes will turn out just 45 degrees. Now the weight comes down onto this left foot. I come all the way forward and step out, landing on my heel. You got that part so far? Because I'm going to back up here so I can do a little bit more. Right? So I've landed on my heel in this step. Before I put any weight on it, before I go forward, I'm going to turn my waist again, this time towards the right. Turning to the right 45 degrees, and that toe comes with me. Then I put my weight on that foot so that I can step forward, and there's a moment here where I again land on my heel just prior to shifting to complete the lunge, to complete the bow step. Lots of parts there. More parts than it might seem. Now it is continuous. Remember that it's not actually broken up, bump, bump, chop, chop, chop like this in the performance of the movement. It's continuous. So this is what it looks like in continuous motion. I want to move back here far enough so that I stay in camera the whole time, right? So I shift back, turn waist, step up, step down, turn waist, cup forward, step down, shift to complete. Here's a sideways view of this. All right, now here I'm going to use the proper foot forward. This is my left foot forward. Come, get all the way back here. Sit back, turn left, step down, step through, land on heel, turn waist, step through, step down, finish. Here's what the hands are doing. We are starting off in a brush knee position here. And the thing about this brush knee position, in terms of the breakdown of this movement, notice one hand high, one hand low, one hand forward, one hand back. It's going to make a difference because they have to coordinate to move together and then move apart. In fact, this is a very important Tai Chi principle. In Chinese, it's called Tong Yi Dui Li. It means sometimes we move together, sometimes we move apart, right? And so in every movement, you might take a look at Tong Yi Dui Li. So I have to move them together for a moment to get them to a position where they can move apart. That's a very important concept in Tai Chi. And knowing the timing of when they move together and the timing of when they move apart makes Tai Chi Tai Chi, right? It just makes everything. All right, so I'm going to start off in this brush knee position here. As I begin to move back, my body goes in one direction, but my hands go in the opposite direction. So my body's going to go back this way, but my hands come forward. My bottom hand comes forward towards the top hand. Right? As I turn my body, the hands are going to drop. Right? So they have come forward, then dropped. Circle around to a point where they're just above the chest. Now I want to pause right there. This is definitely not the end of the movement. This is sort of like a midpoint in the first of three techniques. This is ban, the deflection, the repositioning, right? The deflecting downward, repositioning, right? And at this point in time here, I'm about to turn. Now as I turn my body, the right hand withdraws into the hip, right? This body turns into the hip. As I step forward, there's a push-pull right there, push-pull. As the hand comes back, fist comes back to the hip, and the other hand reaches forward. Then finally, the settling into the lunge, and at that point in time, I punch right past the open palm. All right, here it is one more time from the side view. Actually, you have me do it two more times. One going this way, one going this way. All right, so I'm just finishing up brush knee here. One more time, same thing, other side. I want to just challenge you. You might try this with the wall or with a pillow or a buddy who just hold a hand out like this, and imagine yourself punching on, standing on one foot. Like how much leverage, how much impact you'll actually be able to get out of being on one foot only. Not very much. That means that you must have a second point of contact with the floor in order to be grounded enough for the punch to land and something to be able to, come out of that. So the ready position for the last punch, therefore, is when you have finally stepped down. I'm doing this with this foot forward. Your left foot forward, turn around. I've got this foot, it's not ready yet. Here, when this foot touches down, I am ready to go into my lunge. So I better be ready with this hand. The timing, therefore, is that the fist is withdrawing, hits its mark, the moment that this heel, boom, touches down. Right? So I am pushing and pulling the moment that heel touches down, and then coming forward for the punch. So again, when this foot hits the ground, you want to be, there's your block, there's your withdrawal, now it's ready, and punch. Tomorrow we're going to come back and I'm going to do, actually the next two movements are very, very, very small, so they go well together. We'll do two in a row. And something else. The two movements that are coming up make for the end of the whole first section of the 103 movement long form. So tomorrow's lesson is going to be completing the first section. And then Monday, we not only have a lesson, the first movement of section 2, but we also have the weekly wrap-up. So we're going to see all the movements that we've learned since last week in one long video. Anyway, that's all I got for today. I hope that you enjoyed this lesson. Couple of things to say, to remind you of. Please, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to this series, because I'd love to share as much Tai Chi with you as possible. That's, that's in a serious moment. That's really why I started this series. I took a look at this YouTube channel and I said the whole intention behind this was to share Tai Chi, especially with beginners, but every level I think it can learn something from these videos. And I thought, I'm not doing enough. I'm just not doing enough. There's so much more that I have in here. 40 years of experience, lots of different lessons that I've had a chance to learn that I want to share back with you. So I said, I'm not doing enough. There's more I can do. So that's the intent of this channel. Please let me do that with you. Subscribe to this channel so I can share some of this stuff with you. Tell a friend so that they can subscribe to this channel too. And most importantly, more than anything else, please keep making those comments. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you. They're like, in the words of another YouTuber, they're like oxygen. I get what he means now. When I read this, like I breathe in this big, that's like fresh oxygen to read your comments, to hear what you're thinking, to know, like the viewer who watched yesterday's video and said, I'm still confused. It still wasn't kind of enough. It was still not a great breakdown. So that inspires me to want to come back and take another look at this movement to do better and to create more for you. So please keep on making those comments, ask those questions. There's no question that's inappropriate or too, off topic. Like there's questions that have been asked about the energy work, there's questions that have been asked about daily practice, discipline, etc., etc. All those are great questions, so please keep on asking them. I will answer them, every single one, and some of them I'll be using in the video lessons as the question of the day. I don't have a question of the day because I was playing with this guy, but I'll have one tomorrow. So I'll see you then.